welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies may have inspired it. Before we get started here, make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast in your app of choice. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music. We're on most of them, so definitely make sure you subscribe to the show. And please rate us and review us. You can do it on iTunes or wherever else you're listening that does reviews. Please leave us a review. We want to know what you're thinking about the show. You can also send me feedback directly at bydavidrosen@gmail.com. So please, I definitely want to hear what you guys are thinking of the show. And before we get onto it, I just wanted to say thank you all for bearing with me these last few weeks. After the Avengers episode, we had to do 2 mini episodes to just kind of be placeholders because I was traveling. But we're back, and after this extended break, we should be back to weekly episodes now. And another thing I was doing in the meantime was setting up our new website. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure to check out www.piecingpod.com. You can also subscribe to our mailing list there. And I'd love to hear some feedback on the site as well. I'm planning on adding more features soon, but I just wanted to get the first version off the ground and running. And it's up, and hope you guys enjoy it. So without any further ado, let's get on to this new episode. So, just a few weeks ago, Marvel Studios brought us the biggest movie in the world with the highest stakes imaginable with Avengers Infinity War. It was so big we needed 5 co-hosts to properly cover it on our show. And then a week later, they released the heavily R-rated Deadpool 2. While not a part of the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe story, this sequel to the surprise hit brought back Ryan Reynolds with a new director and all of the over-the-top, bloody, violent, and filthy action that most movie fans probably didn't even know they wanted the first time around. The first Deadpool broke all kinds of records, including the highest opening weekend for an R-rated movie ever, and caused the Hollywood machine to start rethinking their resistance to R-rated blockbusters. Trying to recapture that kind of magic doesn't always work out, but co-host David Quinones and I will get into whether or not they managed to make it work, this time with a villain played by Josh Brolin and a bigger cast filled with X-Men and X-Force characters. All right, so we got a new episode here, and with me again is Q, David Quinones. Hello. From the Bird Road podcast. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. I'm doing well.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, this has been pretty tough to get scheduled here with everything that's been going on, but I'm glad we're doing this one. It's going to be a fun movie to talk about.
It's a real quick evasion of responsibility on your part. You can so deftly just throw that, baked in apology without even having to say that you're sorry for leaving your listeners hanging for
or you could say my listeners trust me, and they know that there's reasons why I've been so busy and stuff. I didn't leave them with nothing. I mean, we had a couple mini episodes, we got a new website, you had
to take a 4-day tour of Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
4-day tour of Stroudsburg, 2 days of sitting in a cabin.
By the way, you can see all of Stroudsburg in a solid 4 hours.
Actually, that is true. We only spent about 4 hours in Stroudsburg. The rest of the time we were meeting people and doing stuff. But it was a fun trip. But we're back finally. You can finally get some new episodes going. So Deadpool 2, the sequel to the first one, which caught everybody off guard. And
no shit, the sequel to the first one.
Yeah, it was. Some people were confused about that. I think that's probably why they put the 2 instead of a subtitle, just to make sure that people understood that.
And the next one's going to be an X-Force movie, right?
That's true. That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, before we get into the first puzzle piece, I just wanted to make a quick note that I think there's obviously a lot of similarities between the first one and this one. And I have a feeling, since the first one came out long before this show ever started, a lot of these puzzle pieces are probably going to be ones that could really apply to either of these 2 movies. I think probably one of the biggest criticisms of Deadpool 2 is how it's kind of more of the same. We'll get into whether or not, we liked it and whether or not there was enough new. But Yeah, I just
Well,
think,
that's interesting that that's manifested as criticism, because wasn't that the central point of argument between Ryan Reynolds and the initial director who had also directed the first one and who was ultimately fired by Ryan Reynolds in
right.
his executive producer capacity? That the guy wanted to, whose name I'm blanking on right now, but the other director wanted to go in a bigger budget. He wanted to switch it up, right? He wanted to, he was like, oh, well, we got all this money from the first one. Let's hit it out of the park with a big budget superhero blow up movie.
Right.
And Ryan Reynolds was like, no, let's do the same thing we did.
Let's do more of that shit. And I mean, for the most part, I think it worked. But yeah, we'll get into it though. And I'm gonna let you go ahead first, though, with the first puzzle piece. What do you got for your first one?
Well, before I jump to my first puzzle piece, I want to get something off my chest about this, about like just the environment or the climate of reviews of Deadpool 2 and the things that I read when I was researching it, because I don't always, unless there's something that speaks to the world of these superhero movies that maybe I missed, or if there's some trivia or something like that, or maybe some Easter eggs that I might have overlooked, I don't really go looking on AV Club and stuff like that for information or stories or reviews about these movies. I might read like A.O. Scott's reviews in the Times just to get like a real baseline understanding of whether I should see a movie or not, but I don't do it after the movie out of curiosity. But in researching sort of what people have been talking about in the climate of this, surrounding the reviews of this movie, not the movie itself, but the reviews of it, I gotta say, movie reviewers and culture writers need to get the fuck over the fact that comic book movies are big. Like, get over it. They're big. They're fucking big. Deal with it. Is it that hard for you to go see 3 of them a year? Like, how difficult can it be? Like, we've now reached peak comic book. It's like, yeah, no shit, dude. They like 2 comic book movies made what, $3 billion in the last month and a half. No shit, we're at peak comic book. What is it that you want to see?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so annoying, unendingly annoying for me to have to to see all of these culture writers and all of these people who fancy themselves to be like serious journalists and serious, purveyors of, arbiters of what is and what is not good, to see them, shitting on a movie like Deadpool 2. I'm not going to like come to its like to its eternal defense or anything like that. I'm just saying it was a good movie. It was fine.
Right. Exactly.
Is it that hard for you to just write about it and divorce yourself from the context of a million other movies that may have some similarities to it? I don't see you, shitting on other. I don't know. It's weird. I just like what's another ascendant movie genre right now? Fucking buddy comedies. I don't know. Like, have you ever seen
shitty horror movies?
Shitty horror movies. Have you ever seen a spate of it seems like they're perfectly capable. These writers, or generally the culture arbiters at large, are perfectly capable of, when Paranormal Activity 14 comes out, they're able to compartmentalize it and look at it based on its merits. But every time another Avengers movie or Deadpool movie or whatever comes out, they have to lump it in with this concept of superhero fatigue. I don't know, man. Even the shitty ass Justice League movies based on their box office receipts, don't suggest to me that there's any kind of superhero fatigue.
No.
Like, even the shitty ones are millions of people are going to see them.
Yeah. Well, also another thing is, I mean, they're complaining that there's too many of these movies, but when it comes down to it, the last couple of years have been some of the best years in recent memory of the other kind of movies, the generally critically acclaimed style movies. There's been so many of them, and so it's not like the superhero movies are replacing them. There's just a lot of movies being made, and so
no, what's happening is that a lot of those movies, those critically acclaimed movies, are movies where there's an opportunity for a director to kind of go from being a working director to being considered an auteur. It seems like those are proving grounds for them to get the fucking superhero or Star Wars movie.
Sure, like they want to actually make some money and make a life out of this.
Fuck yeah. I mean, like, look, actors too, they do a great job on Baby Driver, and then they get handed the keys to the next Star Wars or something like that. That seems to be the gravity of what's happening. And I don't know. I don't see why people are Star Wars. There you go, another one. Why is nobody talking about the fatigue of Star Wars
Well,
movies?
actually, I was just about to say,
Or maybe they are. I don't know.
yeah, I think that's going to replace the phrase superhero fatigue, especially after how bad Solo opened this weekend.
So anyway, that's my little caveat before jumping into this movie. I will continue to unabashedly love, like, culture is not a serious thing for me. Culture is something I do to have fun and enjoy myself and forget about shit for a little while. Comic books are things that I've always like loved and enjoyed since I was a little kid, and I will continue to go see movies like Deadpool 2 and not feel an ounce of guilt or like feeling like I should be elevating my tastes more or be more critical just because, I don't know, because it's the ascendant model of movies right now.
And you shouldn't. You should definitely keep going to see these kind of movies because we need people to go to the damn theater and watch movies to begin with, whether it's Deadpool or whether it's, I don't know, fucking some biopic about, I don't know, fucking who's coming out with a biopic this year? I don't know, something snooty.
You know what biopic I saw the other day? Shit, what was it? I can't remember now. Oh man, it was Man on the Moon. I hadn't seen that in forever. You and I saw that in the theaters, like when we were like 19 or 20. Yeah.
Wow.
We went and saw that in the theaters, you and I.
I love that movie.
That was a great movie. I didn't like it at the time, but now watching it,
yeah,
it's better now. It's better watching it a little bit more. So okay, I guess going into my first, I broke mine up a little bit because I had a few different movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they all kind of fit into 4 categories. So I figured I'd just go through like some categories. The first one that I would say is category of movies where there's the breaking of the fourth wall and general awareness that it is a movie, or somebody within the movie is aware that it is a movie. One that's, I think, a little more well known, or maybe like more recent, I think people are still watching this, is Spaceballs. So I felt like that knowledge that, we're in a movie and it's funny, haha, we're kind of, lampooning a thing, and you see us getting our own jokes in real time.
I like that.
Yeah. So, and then the other one, which also had some elements of that, was Life of Brian. I don't know if you remember that Monty Python movie, Life of Brian, or not. That was big when we were little kids. We were like teenagers, we watched that, but I don't know if people are still watching that.
I think so. Yeah. And I haven't seen it in a long, long time, but yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great. It was Monty Python stuff.
So I think that like knowing that, making at least one of your characters aware of the fact. And, one that I even put here that was one of my favorite little fourth wall breaks ever was just one scene. Let's see if you can remember it, where a character just looks at the camera for a moment. Can you guess?
Oh man, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's one of our favorite movies, and
it's in the third act of Friday when Craig comes out of his house. Actually, he does it 2 times. Once in the middle, in the third act, and then once at the very end of the movie.
Ice Cube.
When Ice Cube. Yeah. and he look, and then when the 2 girls are kind of meeting up with each other, and he realizes that his girlfriend and the girl that he's scamming on in that moment are gonna like cross paths, he looks at the camera with like a real serious look, like he knows the jig is up, and then at the end he does the same thing too. That's another.
I love that you just used the phrase "scamming on." That's
scamming on.
Great use of that.
Is that still something people say? Do I sound old now? I sound like a dad.
I don't think I was ever cool enough to use that phrase, so I don't know.
Well, when I think of scamming on a girl, that's like you're hitting on a girl, but there's something you're not telling her, like you specifically that you have a girlfriend already. Like you're hitting on a girl, but you're not mentioning that you already have a girlfriend. That's scamming on a girl.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
So what about you? What's your first?
All right. So my first one, and right off the bat, we're talking one, like I said, that really covers both of these movies. But it is Shoot 'Em Up. Remember Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Which to me, until Deadpool came out, was like the ultimate just over the top cartoon character shoot 'em up movie, and it's, just totally over the top, totally insane, nonstop violence, nonstop guns going, nonstop ridiculousness. and a lot of fun, and I think a really underrated movie. Clive
I've never
Owen
seen that
always
movie
gets.
since it came out. It was on a lot, and maybe the year or two it came out, and I guess they just don't run it anywhere. But that was a great movie. I
I
would
was
love to watch that
obsessed with
movie
it when
again.
it first hit DVD. I watched it like dozens of times, but I haven't seen it since that year. I don't think, but I definitely loved it back then. And yeah, like I said, shoot 'em up. That was the first thing when the first trailers for Deadpool came out. I immediately was like, oh my god, it's like a Marvel shoot 'em up.
Yeah,
You
it's like
know?
headshot Olympics.
Yeah,
Just like everybody's like neck snapping back every 3 seconds,
absolutely. Yeah,
and pithy dialogue.
yeah.
See, you know what's
Lots of
funny?
pithy dialogue.
You know what's funny though is like I feel like there's roots of this movie. There's a weird strand of DNA in this movie that shares something with Shoot 'em Up that can go wrong. Like, and I
Oh,
feel like it's
sure.
this. I feel as though it's the same thing. That strand of DNA was at the core of Suicide Squad and done
Right.
so wrong and done completely wrong
Absolutely.
badly.
100% right. And yeah, when I first saw those trailers, I wasn't totally sure if I was going to like it for that exact reason because these kind of movies can go so wrong. It's basically a spoof of action movies, and spoofs are very, very hit or miss. Um, because it really depends on that right attitude. Because if a movie is too filled with like that kind of a knowing, self-referential, winking
Yeah.
attitude thing, it could be really grating and get really old fast. Um, but yeah, there's some of them that really do it well, and I think this series is one that has luckily done it well.
So that's a really good segue to my next bucket, if you
Okay.
will. And I really only pulled out one from this whole genre because this genre or this cohort of movies are mostly awful, and there's only one of them that I really like, and that is the on the nose parody movies. The this
Mhm.
movie, that movie. The only one that I ever remember liking was Scary Movie. The first Scary Movie I thought was really funny. Every sequel was terrible. All of the epic movie, like I would say, the only other one that could maybe get put in there is They Came Together,
Mhm.
but it feels like that too. It's a genre parody. It's making fun while also being the movie. It's making fun
Exactly.
of of a genre.
You're
Now,
you're forgetting though. There is one that the two of us used to love. Do you remember which one it is? It's one that came out probably around 2000, and it's going to be really embarrassing the fact that we like this movie, but um,
huh.
not another
See,
teen
it's
movie.
embarrassing enough. Oh, not another teen movie. We loved that movie.
Yeah, we
Fuck
thought
yeah,
it
we
was
did. I
so
like that
good.
movie. Yeah, it was good. It's still good. I still watch that movie if it's on.
Yeah.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah,
That's a
but
really good.
there's not a lot of good ones of these kind of spoofs, especially I mean, old
Not
spoofs.
another
Yeah,
teen
like
movie starring Captain America.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, there's not a lot. Obviously back in the day there was the Naked Gun series and Airplane, and those were all fucking amazing. But ever since the first Scary Movie, there's been maybe two good spoofs. Like
Right.
it's such a difficult, and I don't know
The
why that
Wayans
is. Why
brothers
spoofs
just
are so
killed them.
hard.
Just
They
the Wayans
did.
brothers just drove them into the ground
Yeah.
so badly.
Yeah.
I saw maybe Scary Movie 3 or something like that, and it was so over the top bad. The one that with David Cross in it, it was so over the top bad. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen on film.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, wow, this is what. And then they made the epic movie and disaster movie or whatever. They made like a million of those things, and
Well,
none of them.
those weren't the Wayne's brothers. Those are these guys that took over for them.
Oh, okay.
Another duo of directors, and yeah, they made all the ones after Scary Movie, and they're even worse. I mean, they make the Waynes look like they were just making fucking classics. Although they did make some classics. I'm not
So
gonna
genre
disagree.
parody movies as best personified by Not Another Teen Movie's Scary Movie and They Came Together. I would say that that's my second bucket, as it were. And you?
Okay. All right. My next one is actually it's the only comic book movie I'm going to mention, and that is Kick Ass, which
Okay.
that's the only other comic book movie I could think
Yeah.
of that is this kind of insane and violent and dirty, and
Another headshot Olympics type movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, again, Shoot 'em Up, I probably could have put them in a bucket, Shoot 'em Up and Kick Ass, although this one I wanted to mention specifically was a comic book first. But yeah, Kick Ass was awesome. I loved that movie. Nicolas Cage in that is still, I mean, that's like the last great Nicolas Cage role. I'd love to see him do something great again.
I loved Kick Ass a lot. I thought it was really good. It was in that era, that like 2008, 2012 era of where they were trying different things with comic book movies, where they were non-traditional, like non-Marvel universe, non-DC universe type heroes. They were a little darker, maybe a little weirder. Like that was also the era of Scott Pilgrim, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
Which is just such an innovative and funny and smart movie. But Kick-Ass 2, with where the character, the archetype of the character that Nicolas Cage played was replaced by Jim Carrey, was so bad. And Jim Carrey made that movie so bad. Like on his own. He had maybe 30 lines in the whole movie and he made it terrible.
And you know what's sad though is I would say that he was kind of the best part of the movie, and he still wasn't very good in it. Yeah, it was a bad movie.
That McLovin kid was just that one movie. Like that guy, don't put him in anything else. That guy's terrible. That guy's terrible. Guy. I mean,
that's his thing. That's his life. He's McLovin. I mean, I guess he could be Napoleon Dynamite. That's that might be worse. I don't know.
I mean, Napoleon, did that guy ever do anything else? He did. Oh, he did one of our all-time favorite movies. Remember?
Which one is that?
Before Rob Schneider went full like right-wing crazy, he did that one movie about baseball where we were expected to believe that Rob Schneider was good at baseball, and it was him and David Spade and
Benchwarmers.
Benchwarmers. Yeah, Dan Hader, right? Wasn't his name Dan Hader?
Yeah, that's right. He was in it. Yeah, Dan Hader. Yeah.
The great.
Talk about movies I haven't seen in a long time.
John Lovitz. Wait, John Lovitz unveiling his like miniature baseball park to the engineers and telling them that he needed to have it built in less than a week, and then telling them like he's like, you have to keep it under $20 million. That's all I have on me.
I forgot all about that. That's one of the best lines ever.
That's one of the best lines ever uttered on cinema. But only because it was him that said it.
Oh yeah, no one else could have pulled that off.
Nobody else could have pulled off that line. Oh my god. That's all I have on me. All right, so I guess this bounces back over to me.
Yeah.
All right, so my third bucket, my third of four buckets, is sequels that are farces of themselves. So again, this kind of goes back to that awareness that you're in a movie thing, but this is a different stripe of it. What I'm talking about is movies. Specifically, I wrote down 22 Jump Street and Hangover 2 that are making fun of the fact that the thing is happening again. And that, we're going through this whole thing again. And isn't it ridiculous? Like, what are the odds? Which is what everybody always says. You know, that's the joke about the Die Hard joke. How many times can this guy fall out of a fucking building or get attacked by terrorists, right? Like, that's the joke. And to sort of head off that joke and make it central to the narrative of the story is a piece that Deadpool 2 borrowed from movies, like I said before, 22 Jump Street, which was brilliantly done. I think an underrated sequel where
it was really
good. Kind of flipped it up at the end of that movie. If you haven't seen 22 Jump Street, like, I mean, spoiler alert, it came out like 5 years ago, so fucking get over it. But like, you had your chance. But they did a really inventive thing where at the end, where they had been making a joke about that movie being, oh, this is happening again. This is all happening again, just like last time. It turned out that it wasn't. It was different, and you kind of weren't expecting that because of the setup. It was interesting. And then Hangover 2, again, another movie where how can this be happening to these guys again? And they make that joke in that movie, God, we sure are like cursed or something like that. I thought that there's a lot of that happening in Deadpool 2, where I mean they're even a little more on the nose, where they're talking about the box office performance and stuff like that in the actual opener of the movie. But I don't know, what do you think?
Well, actually, I just wanted to say, speaking of The Hangover, have you seen the trailer for Tag with Ed Helms?
No, I haven't seen
It's
it.
the least funny comedy trailer I think I've ever seen in my life. I don't know. Wait, that guy cannot make a good looking movie. I don't know what it is.
What's so funny
Um,
is I've been rewatching, my wife and I have been rewatching The Office. I don't know why. I think there's some weird um what is it? The Jungian what is the world, what is the thing that Carl Jung said? The collective unconscious. I
mm,
think that the world right now is rewatching The Office, because everybody I talk to is like, "Oh yeah, I was watching The Office the other day," and my
huh.
wife and I were like watching The Office the other day. There's some movement
I think Gina's
where
brother was just rewatching it.
there's a bunch of people that are just rewatching it or maybe rediscovering it on Netflix or something. It could just be that Netflix positioned it in a certain way on their homepage, and like now people are just clicking on it. But for us, we've been rewatching some of those episodes just at nighttime when we're getting right before we go to sleep. And Ed Helms was so good on that,
Oh
and
yeah, he was great.
he was incredible,
Yeah.
and he has made very few things that were any good following that.
Yeah, but I do love him though. He's great. But yeah, no, that's definitely a good point because I mean that kind of is like the main thing with Deadpool 2 is that almost all of it is kind of just making fun of the fact that they're doing it again. It was right there in the trailer too with the whole thing about just make number 2, don't even bother making a number 3, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's definitely seems to be like a big jump off point for what they had in mind for making this sequel.
What's in that joke? TJ Miller's joke? That was his
Yeah.
joke, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was TJ Miller. Yeah. Which it's pretty interesting that they just leaned right into him and kept him as a big full character. I mean,
He had already filmed that by the time everything
yeah,
came out, right?
I
Yeah.
know, but it's funny because like he was also he's one of the main characters in Ready Player One. I mean, he's having a fine year despite
Yeah, but
everything.
he's not personally having a fine year. He's falling apart, right?
I
Didn't he get
know he is.
arrested recently? And
Oh
like,
yeah, he called like a bomb threat or something, and
yeah, he's
while
off
he
his
was
fucking
drunk. Yeah,
rocker.
he's not doing very well.
He's not okay at all. All right, what's
Yeah.
your next one?
So my next one is this one's actually more specifically about the plot, and I think kind of an obvious one, but Terminator 2, which with Cable
Oh,
coming back in time to stop the events of what's going to happen, and killing a kid, and Deadpool has to protect the kid.
damn, that's actually a dead on one. And yeah, that
Yeah,
one's almost too obvious.
and I
Um,
think he called him John Connor at one point too,
yeah,
which so they obviously know that as they were doing it. Um, but yeah, and I mean, come on, Terminator 2 is the best action movie of all time.
Terminator
It's
2. Did you see it in the theater or were you too little?
actually the first time I saw Terminator 2 was on a bootleg the day I got back from Jew camp. And then we went and saw it for real in the theater the following weekend. Like it had just come out at the time. So
So wait, you got a bootleg while Terminator, like a 1989
yeah,
bootleg while it
yeah,
was
like
still in the movie theaters?
on a video camera, people walking in front of the screen and all that stuff. Yeah, totally old school VHS bootleg. And yeah, then we got to go back to the theater. I think it was like the next week or something.
Yeah, my mom ripped my dad a new asshole because he brought me. I was only like 10 and he brought me to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
it in the theaters. And she was like, "This is a rated R movie, you
Oh,
goddamn psychopath."
yeah, my dad took me all the time to rated R movies.
Yeah, my dad took me to Die Hard also, and that was
Nice.
that was a fucking dope ass movie to see when it came out. I was like, hell yeah.
I
Um,
seriously love Terminator 2 though. So good.
well, Terminator 2 nails, you are like right there with my fourth and final bucket of
Okay.
traits, I guess, that are of pieces, which is broadly just kids with bad role models. And underneath that, I hadn't put Terminator 2, even though it's an incredible one. That is right on par with what I'm talking about, or right on topic with what I'm talking about. The ones that I had written were Bad Santa and Problem Child. And I thought that this movie had a lot of that sort of reluctant, curmudgeonly guy being forced to, through circumstance, take care of or monitor the well-being of a child where he probably shouldn't be in charge of anybody. You could make the case that Arnold Schwarzenegger, a robot who was reprogrammed and sent back in time, is probably not the best role model for John Connor. But yeah,
right.
that was my fourth and final bucket. I saw a lot of that same dynamic. The way too eager to please kid who wants to be who wants to ingratiate himself with the male adult figure, but who lacks a male adult figure of authority, and goes looking for one in the wrong place, which I thought was done really well in Deadpool.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, that absolutely I agree with that. And that also leads right into my final puzzle piece, actually, which you mentioned about the adult, like kind of begrudgingly helping the kid. This is more of an adult begrudgingly learning something and growing, which is Army of Darkness, which,
Yes.
Deadpool not wanting to grow and learn and become a better person, but he eventually does it, a little bit anyway. And just like Ash, he has absolutely no interest in helping or being the solution to what's happening, but he eventually gets talked into it because he's got a big heart.
Oh.
Yeah, another of my favorite movies.
Was that the third one? That was the third one, right?
That was the third one, yeah. The last movie.
That was the one back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That one is always, I think, the weirdest one.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
with the first one, I never know if it's the 50th minute or like the 5th minute of that movie. If I turn it on, I'm like, where is it? Because everything is kind of, there's not a sequence. It's just a bunch of the same things kind of happening, and you just kind of sit there and watch it. Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah, no, I almost brought up Army of Darkness, but I wanted to save it for the end there. But I almost brought it up when you were talking about sequels that are farces of themselves, because in a lot of ways, the Evil Dead series just kept getting more ridiculous because of how ridiculous it started. And, they just kept making it more and more and kind of aping itself further and further. But yeah, I think that's the last of your puzzle pieces, right?
That's it. That's the last of yours, right?
Yep. So let me do the finished puzzle here. Yeah, we did it. All right. So the finished puzzle, all the movies that we just talked about would be, we got movies where they break the fourth wall, such as Spaceballs, Life of Brian, Friday, Shoot 'Em Up, parody movies like Scary Movie, Not Another Teen Movie, Kick-Ass, Terminator 2, sequels that are farces of themselves, like 22 Jump Street and Hangover 2, Army of Darkness, and movies with kids that have bad role models, like Bad Santa and Problem Child. I think that was everything we talked about. Yep. Yeah, so that is our finished puzzle. And just to finish this thing up, it sounds like you liked this movie. I know I did. How'd you like it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was more like where all these movies with the big long narrative arcs and the expanded universes and stuff like that kind of make you eat your vegetables a little bit, but they're really good vegetables, But this movie was just all candy. This movie was just fan service after fan service, funny joke after funny joke, and it was great. It was really good.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. Like you said, like after the weight of Avengers Infinity War, going back to something like this, and then this is going to happen again next month with Ant-Man and the Wasp, with going back to just like a funny, fun action superhero movie.
Did you see the meme that fellow co-host on this show, Will Hines, posted a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
The 2-panel meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Mac is serving Dennis some food, and Mac is labeled as Marvel. Dennis is labeled as Marvel fans who just saw Infinity Wars, and the food is labeled Ant-Man 2. And Dennis just takes the food and throws it down the hallway.
I hated that meme because I love Ant-Man's.
I'm sure Ant-Man will be great, but it is going to be underwhelming because they're going to have one of these like random shit ass villains who doesn't matter and is doesn't matter the larger story and is dead by the end of the movie, and it's
they should have just gotten Josh Brolin in it in another role.
Yeah, just keep
three great Josh Brolin villains.
Just keep making Josh Brolin every bad guy. Make him the Joker. Fuck it. Like, who cares?
By the way, do you follow Josh Brolin on Instagram?
I got these scars.
He's the Joker now.
I got these scars.
We do have Sicario coming up though, so we got Josh Brolin there. Yep.
What if Sicario happens in the same world as Bad Santa?
I didn't expect you to say that.
Shared universe, Bad Santa, Sicario world.
I mean, I think that would make sense. I mean, Bad Santa probably comes from a world with a lot of drugs and stuff,
I feel like Sicario probably does happen in the same world as Usual Suspects or something like that. They should do that more often. Drop movies into different like worlds that they share and shit.
I feel like we need to start Bird Road video skits just so we could have you shooting a gun the way that Benicio del Toro does in the Sicario trailer. I just think it's so funny. How he just puts his finger through it and then pulls the gun back with his other hand.
One night when we were really fucked up and really stoned, I made you laugh your ass off because I did an impression of Antonio Banderas in what was the movie not the Mariachi. He wasn't in the Mariachi. The Mariachi was the first movie.
Desperado,
where he does the thing where he like clicks the gun and goes shh, like that, and he tells the gun to be quiet. I did an impression of that, and you were just dying one night. Where he like loads the shotgun and it clicks and he goes shh.
Ridiculous. So there you have it, another episode of Piecing It Together, finally. But that was a really fun one. I always love talking to Q. We had a really good time doing it, and then we also recorded a new Bird Road podcast episode, which don't think I just had to take those couple of weeks off from this podcast. I also wasn't recording Bird Road that whole time too. So I'm happy to be back to both podcasts. So if you're enjoying Piecing It Together, definitely check out Bird Road as well. You can find it at any of the podcast apps that Piecing It Together is on. And it's a really fun show. And we joke around. We talk about politics and news. We talk about all kinds of stuff. It's a great show. So anyway, Deadpool 2. Awesome movie. I loved it. And I'm really glad we got a chance to talk about it. Normally, I'd say it's like a week too late for where I really want this podcast to usually be. I try to talk about movies that just came out within the last week or two, but I had to make an exception, and we might make exceptions again in the future. We'll see. If there's a certain movie we didn't get to, we want to talk about, we're just going to do it. There's no rules. It's podcasting. I mean, come on. So anyway, I just want to remind you guys, if you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe to our podcast. On any podcast app that you listen to on, Pocket Casts, of course, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music. We're pretty much everywhere at this point, and anywhere that we're not, hey, if you want to listen to us somewhere and we're not there, let us know. We'll make sure to get whatever it is we got to do to get on there, we'll get on there. And please rate and review us on iTunes. Check out our Facebook and Twitter at PiecingPod. Check out the new website, www.piecingpod.com. You can subscribe to our mailing list on there too, which would be really awesome because I want to start sending some really cool stuff out to you guys. We're going to start doing some contests. I'm going to start doing some giveaways, movie giveaways and stuff like that. So it's going to be really cool. You're going to want to be subscribed to that mailing list. So definitely check out www.piecingpod.com. We'll be back next week with a new episode, and I'm going to try to fit in a few extra episodes in June to make up for that break that we did. We got to see if we can make that happen. Otherwise, we'll at least get back to one a week for sure. But I'm going to try to get a couple extras in. And we have a few planned right now. So we got to just get to those and get them going. And I hope you guys enjoy this one because I am glad to be back and continuing to do it. So, with that said, I guess I will talk to you next week. If you have any comments, just please email me, bydavidrosen@gmail.com. Oh, and you know what? One other thing I want to mention before I forget here. We also started a Facebook group, Piecing It Together, a movie discussion group. Check that out. Get signed in on there and start having conversations with us. We want to know what you're thinking about these movies. We want to know what you're thinking about the puzzle pieces that we're suggesting. And just start a conversation. Hell, maybe even come on the show sometime. Let me know in that group that you're interested in it, and we'll make it happen because I definitely want to have all different kind of voices on this show, and we're going to be doing a lot more episodes, so we definitely need a lot of co-hosts. So definitely get involved in that group, Piecing It Together, a movie discussion group. It's on Facebook, and we've been having some fun conversations in there already about movies and some other stuff too. But we want to keep it going and keep it busy and keep having fun with it. So anyway, lots of movies coming out this week we got to go see. But we will be back next week with a new episode, and thanks for listening.